In a world full of challenges, there are incredible people making a difference, one cause at a time. KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. KFGO for a Cause shines a spotlight on organizations and individuals dedicated to positive change.
KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. And Neil Van Dam is back in the house. Welcome back.
Good morning.
On this Sunday morning, we also have Taylor Sievertson in, Director of Community Impact with the United Way. Taylor, welcome back to KFGO Radio.
Great to be with you.
So tell us, Reader's Digest version, who the United Way is. I think a lot of us know the United Way. We've got Gobble It Up coming up this next week, which are all going to give that suggested donation for that hot turkey sandwich. But where's their money going to go? What's it going to do in our community?
I love to share with folks that there are United Ways all across the world. And something that we say is where there's a need, there's a United Way. And our United Way is responsible for responding to our community's needs. Our community has said that we need to focus on lifting families out of poverty. So we focus on things like preventing hunger and homelessness, preparing kids to succeed, and strengthening families by making sure they have access to health, well-being, and stability that's going to help them thrive long-term. And so we do that through a variety of different ways, activating great volunteers, creating experiences for people to learn about poverty, and also investing in great partnerships and programs that make that possible in our community.
Most recently, you had a school supply drive, a little backpack drive for schools. How many backpacks went out into our community for kids in need?
We had a goal this year of distributing 6,500 backpacks to kids in our community, and every single one of those backpacks is on the back of a little kid in school right now, and that's school supplies and a backpack that helps kids feel confident for the start of school. But it's more than just feeling good about themselves as they enter school. It's also about making sure that they're ready to learn, that they have the things that they need to succeed every single day in school. And it makes a difference in their academic outcomes.
Yeah. I was just talking to you off the air, but you had a kindergartner this year. I had a kindergartner this year. And it really does, like, when you look at these kiddos in our school, like, it feels like all of our jobs to make sure they're all okay, right? Like that like community mentality of like, these kids are all of our kids. Like, they didn't pick their parents or their situations. Like, it's kind of our jobs to like step up and meet them where they're at and make sure they have what they need. Or I feel that way anyway. Like, I look at my kids, their friends, the schools that they go to, and I'm like, yeah, I want to take care of all these kids.
I agree. I feel the same way. And I think that's part of the value of our community is that people come together and step up for what matters most. And, you know, it's maybe something we hear a lot, like our kids are the future of our community. They truly are. And when they are cared for and they feel that care and love from people who might be their parents and other caregivers in the community, whether it's a teacher or a nurse or a friendly smile on the street, it really is all of our responsibility to take care of our community's kids.
You mentioned that the United Way is not just here, but they're all across the country. Are you guys all doing the same thing?
We aren't. No, we all operate just a little bit differently. We respond to our community's needs. So our United Way is very unique, and we get the chance to do this work based on what our community needs, and that looks different all across the world.
That's so different. That I had never thought about that. That there are United Ways everywhere, but they're all doing different things. Can you give us examples of like other United Ways that you know of that you're like, oh, this I didn't know another United Way did this thing.
I would love to share. Even in the state of North Dakota, there are United Ways all across the state.
Yeah.
And just our neighbors to the north up around Grand Forks, they operate programming that helps provide childcare for the community, and also programming that supports some of those day-to-day resource needs or basic needs that families might need, like clothing or shoes or hygiene items through a resource closet that they operate. So very different than the type of work that we do. We really are focused on partnerships and making a really deep impact for families. We often talk about this difference between managing a crisis. We got to make sure that we're caring for people today with food and shelter and basic human dignity. And if we're truly lifting families out of poverty, our work has to focus on some of the harder, stickier issues, the things that are going to have an impact on family outcomes. How are people's lives better as a result of an intervention? And how does that cascade to that next generation or for kids as they grow up and have success in the future?
Well, and I guess I'll just name this. It feels like there are already a lot of organizations or nonprofits in our area that are doing that crisis work that you're talking about. And I know that the United Way is very instrumental in like making sure that there's like monetary gifts to those organizations in different ways, right?
Absolutely. A huge part of our work is our investment in partners and programs. And what that looks like is grant making. So we invest over a huge amount every single year in the right partners. And we make really strategic decisions about who those partners are through a robust volunteer-led process. So we often share that we are a strategic investor and a strategic connector. We know which agencies are having the highest impact on the folks that they serve, and then we partner with them, make sure that they have the resources they need, but we don't stop with that kind of transaction. Our work is really focused on making sure that this collective group that's working on maybe different parts of the pie is able to work together. So for all of our partners that work on preventing hunger or preventing homelessness, they don't do it alone. They move through this work in a collective way. And so we build collective goals and we work towards those collective goals together.
Let's talk about the things that people might not know about our community, because I think another one of the things that you do is you're gathering information and data about the needs of our community and trying to identify those so you can pick those partners or those other agencies that you're working with. What are some of those things that the United Way might know about our community that someone listening might not know?
This is a really fantastic question, because I think particularly in our region, we think about maybe poverty or some really tricky issues as happening somewhere else. They're happening right here in our community. Our neighbors' kids are facing things like food insecurity and homelessness and lower educational outcomes because of that challenge of poverty. Right here in Cass and Clay counties, 1 in 3 kids are experiencing food insecurity or hunger. 1 in 3 kids woke up this morning, went to school, and maybe the only meal that they're going to have today is that free and reduced breakfast or lunch that they're able to get because they're going to public schools. Over 1,000 people in our community tonight are experiencing homelessness, and they're relying on things like emergency shelter. They might be sleeping in their car or a place not meant for human habitation. There are kids that are getting ready for school today who are stepping out of a car where they spent the night last night and headed in to try to be ready to learn. And we know that there are really big disparities for kids who are facing poverty and their ability to learn and be ready for what's beyond school also.
1 in 3, line up 3 kids at any school right now in our area, and one of them is experiencing food insecurity. That's an incredibly powerful statistic. Also one that I believe, like we hear this all the time in the schools, that like, you know, problems that occur in our schools often are stemming from 3 basic issues. They're hungry, they're tired, or they need a hug.
Yeah.
You know, it's really like basic stuff.
Yeah.
That we have to go back to the drawing board and help ensure that our kiddos have.
Yeah.
And help ensure that the adults in their lives have the skill set that they need to provide for them too. I mean, that's an important piece of it.
Absolutely.
And 1,000 people, I mean, when you put a number on it like that, it's it's crazy because I think you're right. I think a lot of us are really lucky to not assume that this is happening in our community. Like we're privileged enough not to see it on a daily basis, but it absolutely is happening. It's happening. And you think of someone trying to get up and go get a job when the only place they had to sleep was their car last night. Like imagine how ready you'd be for your day. Or if you could be your best self in a job interview or at a job, it compounds on itself, I guess.
I had a hard enough time getting my kids to school from a bed this morning.
Right,
Yeah, no
exactly.
kidding.
Now imagine all of these other barriers.
So Amy and I were talking offline, and right away when we first started this podcast, she brought up, hey, let's have the United Way on. And honestly, I said, you know what? That's not really my mission with this group, because I wanted to get the unheard charities out here, the ones that no one's heard of, that to have a chance to share their mission. And I always viewed the United Way as more of a corporation than a charity. And I remember the first time I said that to Taylor, she said, thank you. And that kind of made me step back. But the more I've learned, it really is ran like a business. And that's fantastic, because that's kind of the whole point of this show, is to get different nonprofits connected with each other so that they can learn more about how they could be more effective with the resources they have. And that's really exactly what you guys do, correct?
Thanks, Neil. I remember that conversation. I remember saying thank you because it was a great compliment to hear that we're a nonprofit that feels like it's run like a business, and that doesn't mean that we're putting profits above people. It means that instead we're really focused on systems and strategy and using our community's generosity to the most good, being really efficient, being really effective with community resources. So I did say thank you because that's a great compliment to hear that. Even though it maybe wasn't meant as a compliment,
It is now.
Thanks, Neil. And I think one of the things that folks don't know about United Way today, because we have evolved, we've evolved to meet community needs in a new way. Folks maybe don't know that we have a really intentional focus on making sure that we are serving our community's greatest needs with the best partners. The best partners aren't always the biggest partners who have been in the community for a really long time, who are the people you'd know or the agencies you know. They're the ones that have the best strategy and are employing their way of community change or of serving people in a way that uses data to make good decisions, in a way that centers on people first, making sure that the clients that we all want to care for are at the center of what we do, and that they also are evolving and learning and evaluating their programs. And so we have some really small partners who are the gritty, couple of people employees. And we also have the mega partners who've been doing what they do so well for a very long time, and everyone in between.
There's big United Way news over the summer. You got a new president and CEO.
We did. We are so excited. Just last week, we welcomed Sandy Piatz to the team as our president and CEO, and she already has just seamlessly joined our team and is adding her unique brain power to the work that we do and our strategy for our team and for our community.
Okay, what is the process like for the president and CEO? Because there have been a few along the way, and it does seem like each one kind of provides their own personal touch, I guess, on like the work and what the United Way is doing.
I appreciate that perspective. You're right that every president and CEO of the past and United Way has had their own unique stamp on.
Yeah.
I always say like their fingerprints are part of our legacy, and Sandy went through a really robust process that included our executive committee of our board, an outside search firm, and as you know, it was a very competitive process.
Yeah.
We're an organization that has the trust and respect of the community, and we want to make sure that our senior leader is able to be a great connector, a great strategic thinker, but above all else, someone that brings people together.
Well, I feel like everyone's been very excited about Sandy Piatz. So very pumped to meet her. I get to meet her on Tuesday. at the Gobble It Up event. So if you guys are out there, you guys are both laughing. You're like, why did I love the Gobble It Up event. It's like you can set your calendar to it.
It's true.
Tuesday, September 9th, all Hornbacher's locations, all the proceeds go to United Way. It's a hot turkey sandwich to go. Chips, a bun from Hornbacher's, which you can't go wrong there. And so stop by any Hornbacher's locations for a donation of $10. You can get lunch to go or bring it back to your whole office. Like you see people leaving with like literal boxes.
Yeah. It's a great way to be the office favorite.
Yes.
And it's also just really delicious this time of year. It's
Yes.
nice to have something extra tasty for lunch.
Yes.
I mean, $10. The frugality in me just says yes.
I know, right? Where can you find a $10 lunch? Like that's a really hard thing. Even have you guys noticed that about just like fast food places? Like it is a luxury to enjoy a fast food dinner. Like that is not a cheap way. When we talk about people in poverty, like I think that's another myth about people in poverty that I don't know if you've ever, I know you do a lot of simulations. There's a simulation that I took part in years ago where we had to live off of food stamps for a week.
Yeah.
Or no, a month, whatever it was. It's hard. Like take whatever money you would get and try to buy yourself groceries for the week. Like you're only buying bananas in the fruit category. You know, like these little things, like it is difficult to put together meals.
Oh gosh. And then add on if you have a focus of wanting nutritious meals for your family, or if you have any sort of dietary needs or allergies in your family. And then for families who are relying on a food pantry to help make up that, what they're able to put on the dinner table, it's really important that our food pantry and charitable feeding network and all of the organizations that are supporting people, whether that's through a hot meal or a basket of groceries, have what they need also to make sure that people have the right food at the right time.
How do you want someone who's listening to be involved in the United Way?
I am really encouraged by the level of interest in understanding what poverty looks like for our neighbors. And people can be involved with United Way in a variety of ways. So we have some great volunteer opportunities that we want to make sure that people get access to that experience and can help really rally around our neighbors. There are volunteer opportunities that are listed on our website, or we have great committees and other ways that folks can be engaged as a volunteer. We also want folks to continue to share and advocate for the reality of poverty. So if we're sharing something on Facebook, maybe a little nugget of truth that you might want to bring back to your neighbors or your friends or your coworkers, this is one of the ways that we help build a community that is aware, informed, and able to make a difference. And then finally, we hope that folks give confidently to the United Way, knowing that your generosity is used to the greatest good. And folks can give, whether that's through a workplace campaign. We're really, really thankful for all of our workplace partners, or on your own through our website or one of our great events that you can attend.
Yeah, I'm going to bet someone's listening who's part of that workplace and they're like, I never thought about it. I did that years ago. And I'm glad to learn more about what the United Way is doing.
I think it'd be fun for our whole team to do that, like live on food stamps for a week and share it or something like that. If you could walk us through that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. It's something that we can bring to workplaces or offices or small groups of folks. And that's a type of a simulation that I have the honor of getting to help facilitate. So happy to help you with that.
And what if other businesses want to reach out to the United Way to collaborate or have you come in to present to the people that are working there? Is that something that you are able to do?
We do. We have on our website, in the Get Involved section of our website, there are many different ways that workplaces or corporate partners or different types of companies can find the thing that meets their employees' needs or what they're looking for, whether it's team building, some sort of educational experience, or something else. We have a lot of different options there, and we're more than happy to find the right option for your team.
One thing that I just want to mention, just because it's been really weird, United Way people have all of a sudden shown up in my life and everywhere I go. So yesterday I was talking with Dan and Madison on the fundraising side. And privately, I had a conversation with each of them, and I've asked you before, too, about the mission and what you guys are after. And it's so refreshing to have 3 different people and 3 different conversations say the same mission. That's not how most corporations work. That's definitely not how most charities work as far as being aligned with your goals. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
UnitedWayCastleGlade.org. Easy as that. They can find more information about you. Taylor, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you both.
And Neil, we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.